Hello? Hello?
Please remain on mute, ma'am. We're waiting for the judge to log on.
Hello? I can't hear nothing. Oh, this thing is turned around the other way. Turn my camera around.
Mr. Teddy, are you driving?
Wait a minute.
You're on mute. If you're driving, you cannot be driving.
Oh. Let me turn my thing around. My camera. Hello? I don't know why I won't turn the other way. Why the camera won't turn the other way?
You can mute your mic though.
Oh,
If you
okay.
slide your camera to the left, your camera should turn on if you slide it to the left or to the right.
Oh, I'm on my computer.
Okay.
This my face. Let me see. You say slide it to the left.
Yes, ma'am. You slide the camera or slide the whole object to the left or the right, and your camera should turn on. There should be a place at the bottom.
Uh,
It should be at the bottom of your screen.
yeah. Oh, did I turn y'all off? No, I didn't, but
No, we're still here.
it still won't let me do it. Let's see. Camera.
Does anybody have a computer that can possibly help her with her camera?
If she on her computer, camera should be on the top of the computer.
I know my camera. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Is it on top? I don't see anything. Oh, it's on this side, right? It's right here.
Push it up some. Push it up. We just see the blind. Push it up so we can see your face. You got it towards your blind.
I know. I'm trying. it's a touch screen, so I'm trying to, it's, say touch it with the thing. Um, mm,
Maybe double click it.
okay, let's see.
Maybe just turn your computer around. Double click it at the same time, like double click it fast.
Uh, on the Zoom, cannot. I have turned this way then. I mean, I don't know. Can y'all see my face?
Well, I can see
We
you.
see you now.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
but I can't turn the camera backwards. So, because I don't know how to fix it on this tablet. Let me try one more time. I guess y'all seen my face, so I'm trying to get it. Let's see. Why I won't show my face? It showed it earlier.
Maybe get off the Zoom and get back on the Zoom and try it again.
Okay. 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 Leave.
While we're waiting on the judge to get on, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be September the 12th. So, we'll know.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am,
Do we have a Nicholas Ramirez Gonzalez on the chart today?
we do.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
Is that, I've got a question. Is that going to be Ramirez Gonzalez or Gonzalez
It is
Ramirez?
position number 8.
Ramirez Gonzalez.
Number 8.
Yeah, position number 8.
Ramirez Gonzalez.
What courtroom is he in? He's in 2 by now, like everybody?
You will have to ask the jail. I wouldn't know.
Hey, McLean, we was waiting for Alpharetta to bring him over. You're gonna have to hold on for a second, okay?
He will need
Understood.
an English interpreter.
I was gonna need a Spanish interpreter, you mean?
Yes, a Spanish interpreter. He doesn't speak any English or understand it. I'm his
Okay.
wife.
Okay.
Miss,
I'm listed as Nicholas Gonzalez Ramirez. So,
It's supposed to be Nicholas Ramirez Gonzalez, but that's, I don't know, mistaken, I guess.
okay.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Hi, it's Drew with PAD. Have you submitted or created the bond order for Mr. Simeon?
No, we're going to have the judge do that today while we're in court.
Okay, great. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna make arrangements for housing placement then. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. So y'all will pick him up at what time tomorrow?
The bond order usually reads 9 a.m. Released for 9 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, we're ready.
Afternoon, Your Honor. I was telling everyone the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be September the 12th.
All right, we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's Office has already accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer. One has been made by the state at this juncture. As we just stated, the SAP reset date is 9/12. I want to begin by advising everyone this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. Govern yourselves accordingly. Want to remind the defendants that you have certain constitutional rights. First being that you have right to counsel, and you should know who your attorneys are at this point. Also, you have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state is here. They're listening. Once again, follow the lead of your attorney. Who do we have first, deputy?
Your Honor, I just have one quick question before we start. Mr. Montavious Houston, he wasn't on the calendar. Was he NOD'd or?
No, he's a felony transfer that's going to be prosecuted as a felony. He's got a PI number.
All right, thank you. In front of you, Your Honor, we have position number 14, Mr. Vincent Poole.
Thank you. This is 24 CR 006111F, Vincent Poole, charge of 1 count of theft by shoplifting and 2nd count of criminal trespass.
21 total, 2024 probation, 2022 probation, 2020 FTA, 2019 and 18 probation, 2016 terrorist threats, disorderly conduct, simple assault conviction, 2016 probation, 2014 terrorist threats, obstruction conviction, 2012 theft by taking conviction, and 07 burglary conviction.
Your Honor, that's my case. This is a shoplifting and criminal trespass that occurred yesterday, August the 28th, at about 8:05 a.m. at 2900 Peachtree Road, which is a Publix. The defendant was seen taking items off the shelves and putting them into his cart. He then proceeded to try to exit the store with his items in his cart, valued at about $216. Someone interrupted him and asked him what he was doing. He hadn't paid for the items in his cart, and he said, "This is free. The government paid for it." He was explained to by the people there on scene that he needed to leave and he was no longer welcome at the location, and that the government had not, in fact, paid for his groceries. He was actually still on scene when police arrived and was refusing to leave. So you have in front of you criminal trespass and shoplifting. He's got a serious, or not serious, but long history that it does include violations that are violent, but mostly situations like you've seen here. We're asking for a $2,000 surety, Your Honor. Stay away from the location. Again, that's 2900 Peachtree Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Was he represented by PD McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. If we go into detail on his past, we would need to go into breakout. Otherwise, we would ask the court, since he already does have a $1,000 surety bond set on the booking sheet, we would ask the court to consider converting that to a signature. But Your Honor, his address is the mail drop. He says he does definitely get his mail there. He has listed Seymour, his brother. I've left Seymour a message to try to get some more information. We're dealing with a lack of information at this point.
How old is he? He is
61.
Hey, there should be no fault. I'm resetting, not going to court today.
all right, and he already has. Is that a 1,000 surety for both charges or 1,000 for each?
It just says
Shoplifting.
booking sheet, so that may have been updated in the last couple of hours, or the state may have simply put the extra count on.
What do we have, ASG Allen?
He came in with a shoplifting charge. He's got a new charge he'll need a bond on.
Yeah.
I would just inquire as if you've got very little information about someone and you haven't made contact with their family and their address is a mail drop, why we would be asking for a signature bond.
I think we need a little more information. Your Honor, if we were to put that a little bit later, if that person calls back.
No objection to that.
Yeah, we've been trying them all. We may end up in a breakout on that.
Yeah, I understand. I'll hold for a second. I'm certainly, I will tell you, depending, and I'm most likely, I'm 90% at a surety bond. not considering a signature bond. But we
And I
might
was,
need to go into breakout, getting that feeling.
we're trying to organize the list here, Your Honor. There's one other person that is definitely going to need a breakout, and I will grab that in a second and inform the court.
Okay.
Your Honor, just to let you know, Mr. Poole, he has a few medical issues. I don't think he can stay in court that long. Just to let you guys know that. That's why I put him on first.
All right. We need to handle this. I can, you know, I'm inclined to give him a 2,000 surety, 1,000 on each charges. And so, and I think, Mr. McLean, you need to give me an order for MHET.
Right, Your Honor. And these,
That's just fucking on look.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
2,000 surety, 1,000 on each MHET. I don't know if you want to change them to the other calendar, but I think we'll see what the MHET does. Brings back no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from the Publix at 2,900 Peachtree Road.
We're definitely going to need to get the social worker done as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Did you hear that, Deputy?
I heard you.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yeah.
You got it?
What's this? What's this? This is the case.
You got a $2,000 bond.
That's double jeopardy.
All right, come on, Poole.
God, dumbass. God, dumbass.
You got it? Yeah, good job. Take your time. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 3, Ms. Bryant.
All right. This is 24 CR 00609-6H. Jazenia Bryant, charge of 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
10 total, 2019 probation, 2018 battery obstruction arrest, 2009 ag assault, cruelty in the first conviction. That's it.
Okay. State.
Yes, Your Honor. And just to bring to the court's attention, she also has a 2001 aggravated assault conviction, as well as a 2001 simple battery criminal trespass conviction and a 2000 aggravated assault criminal trespass arrest. This incident occurred August 28th, 2024. The incident location is 379 Andrew J. Harrison Place, Northwest Atlanta. The victim in this case is Dwayne Bryant, who is the husband of the defendant. Mr. Bryant advised that the defendant was under the influence of alcohol and asked if he wanted to go to the store. When the victim said no, the defendant scratched him on the shoulder, causing a visible laceration. The state's recommendation is based on the defendant's criminal history, which does show that she has a propensity for violence, as she has numerous violent arrests and convictions. The recommendation is a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. Our office has reached out to the victim, but we have not been able to make contact with him. So I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Mr. Dwayne Bryant.
Mr. Dwayne Bryant. Are you on the Zoom? Dwayne Bryant. All right. PD Rosenhoover.
Good afternoon, Judge. Yes, Miss Bryant is 43 years old. She is a lifelong Georgia resident. She does have an alternate address to reside at with her sister. I can provide that for the court, but it's in Union City. She'll have no issue not having contact with the victim. She does have 2 jobs right now, Judge. She's driving near and around the airport, working for 2 different companies. She's advised me that if she's not able to get out, she will lose those jobs. Judge, she got her GED, and she's advised me that she's not able to make much of any bond right now. So I just asked the court to set a low and reasonable bond in this case.
All right. And what did you tell me? Did I miss anything about employment?
Yes, Your Honor. So she is employed by two companies. One is called EDS, the other Outmatched, and those are two driving companies. She drives cars to and from and around the airport.
Okay. All right. I will. Will you take her pretrial or not?
Level 3.
All right. I'll give a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial. Level 3. I will order her to take 1 week anger awareness courses.
Yo.
I also will order her to stay away from the incident location. Find somewhere else to live while on bond. No further contact with the victim, Dwayne Bryant. No drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, weapons or guns while on bond. That should do it.
Your Honor, what level was that?
That was number 3. Did you hear the amount?
I heard the amount, but was that level 3?
Yes, level 3.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next, we're gonna go to position number 1. It's gonna be Mr. Richard Abernathy.
Your Honor, while that's coming up, I found the other case that needs to be in a breakout, and that is Slade, Slade.
And Deputy, I'm not for sure if you're aware, there's a private counsel on.
Yeah, I have it in order for him to go. I got you,
You
Your Honor.
did? Okay,
Yep.
thank you. All right, this is 24 CR 006095C. Richard Abernathy, charged with 1 count of theft by taking, pretrial.
38. On probation for trespass in state court. It's 22 CR 006950A. Couple of FTAs from last year. 2022 theft by taking conviction. 2015 criminal damage to property conviction. 2010 battery DV giving false name NOLO.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. I do see that the defendant also has a 2004 theft by taking conviction, a 2004 theft by receiving conviction, a 2001 theft by taking, a 2008 theft by receiving, and a 1996 theft by receiving. This incident
Well, I won't go back that far. And I know they may be relevant, obviously, to the case, but something over 20 years.
Of course, Your Honor. This incident occurred August 26, 2024. The incident location is the racetrack located at 1180 Virginia Avenue in Hapeville. The defendant is accused of stealing a bicycle belonging to Kevin Basin Jr. The bicycle was attached to Mr. Bason's tent with a chain lock. The incident was caught on video. The state's recommendation is going to be based on the defendant's criminal history, which includes numerous theft convictions, FTAs, and the fact that he's currently on probation, so there is a potential that he will reoffend. The recommendation is a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from that racetrack, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And I would ask the court to sound for Mr. Kevin Basin Jr.
All right, Mr. Kevin Basin Jr. All right. Go ahead, PD.
Judge, Mr. Abernathy is 48 years old. He is also a lifelong Georgia resident. He is able to reside at the address on file for him. He lives there with his friend, Mr. Patterson. He works at the KFC on Virginia Avenue, and he's been working there for the past year. He also advised me that he's currently applying for Social Security disability and that he's receiving chemotherapy treatments at Grady Hospital, Judge. It's my understanding he's been in custody now for a couple of days. He was reset for medical reasons. So at this point, Judge, he's not able to afford any bond, and we would ask for a UJR.
I'm going to order a 2,500 surety bond. And with that surety bond, stay away from the racetrack on Virginia Avenue in Hapeville. And
I thought I had $1,000 bond, that was it. They told me $1,000 bond. And I'm not,
Does he already have an existing bond?
He does. He has a bond at $1,000, Judge. So we'd ask the court
State,
to.
I need to know that before I rule, and I don't necessarily need to raise his bond, but I do need to know when they come in with the bond that's on the warrant.
I ain't on probation or nothing.
I apologize, Your Honor. I will make sure to look at that and let you know if I see a bond already.
So he has $1,000 surety bond, Ms. Rosenhoven?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, I'll leave it at the $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from the racetrack, Mr. Abernathy, and no drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. That's it.
Your Honor, do we have a stay away? They named a victim.
I said stay away from
no
racetrack on
further
Virginia
contact, I'm
Avenue.
sorry. I said
Oh, no
contact.
further contact. Oh yeah, Mr. Kevin Basin Jr.
Yes.
Yes, no further contact. I'm sorry.
Come on. You got the same bond. She gave you the same bond. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to the private attorney case, position number 13, Mr. Nawasa.
All right.
Good morning, Judge Chris Toles on behalf of Mr. Norris.
Good morning. I mean, good afternoon.
Yeah,
We're so
afternoon.
used to saying good morning. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
24 CR 00609-3C. And this is Mr. Jonas. Is it Nawosa or Nawasa?
You said it right the first time.
Nawosa? Okay. Charged with 1 count of cruelty to children in 3rd degree, 2nd count battery, family violence. Pre-trial?
I got first.
All right. Stay.
Yeah, that's my case. He does not have a bond.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yes, I will try to adjust. This is an incident that occurred on the 24th of August at about 10:30 p.m. Police were called to the location of 3124 Desert Drive in East Point. There, a young woman named Takora McGriff, her name is spelled Tacora. McGriff is McGriff. Reported that she and her small child, not the child of this defendant, had been in the residence where they lived together. The defendant left them at the residence with no food. She asked a friend to drive her to get some food for her child. When the defendant returned, they were sitting eating McDonald's in the house, and this enraged him. He asked where they got the food from. The defendant accused her of cheating, tried to take her phone from her, and while doing so, he actually tried to jump over her infant and landed on top of the child. The victim reported that in response, she pushed the defendant and he punched her in the face multiple times. She was seen to have bruising to her right eye as a result of being struck by the defendant. They do live together. This is not his child. I know I just said that. I wanted to reiterate. We've been in touch with Mrs. McGriff. She reports that she's no longer in a relationship with the defendant. She would like no contact, and we would request a stay away order and a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings with law enforcement, Your Honor. We're asking for an SOB through pre-trial. And stay away from the location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Huh?
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Nawosa.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Can you
He's
hear me?
represented by private counsel, Mr. Tolles.
Yes, Your Honor.
He's represented, who's speaking?
It's me, Judge, Mr. Chris Toles.
That's the attorney.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I was looking at Mr. McLean and I'm so sorry. And I thought it was, you sounded like him for a minute. I apologize, counsel. Go forward.
Thank you, Judge. On behalf of Mr. Nawosa, he's 22 years old. He has no record, Judge. We have no objection to the signature bond recommendation. My concern is that the residence in question, the residence is in his name. Ms. McGriff lives with him. It's not her residence. And so we would object to him having to go get his stuff from his own place. I would just ask the court for no violent contact in this particular situation, since there is no history here. If she doesn't want to have contact with him, Mr. Nwosa will not have contact with her, but we would ask that that it be released on his own recognizance.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, and Mr. Tolles, I misspoke. The victim just is requesting a one-time escort to get her belongings. She's not trying to stay in the home. That's my mistake. But we would ask for no contact and a one-time escort so that she can get her belongings. Thank you.
I have no response, Judge. We'll leave it in the courts.
Okay. All right. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. That'll be $2,000 on the battery, $1,000 on the cruelty. And with that $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, I guess he'll be level 1. And we're going to order him to have no further contact with the victim, Takora McGriff, and as well as no further contact with her child. What are the child's initials?
RP, Your Honor.
R and P is in Paul?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And no further contact with RP. I'm giving the one-time escort to the victim to go to the property to remove her items. However, hopefully there won't be any incidents if the defendant has bailed out and is already there. Sometimes, Mr. Tolles, depending, and this happened a few days ago, want to make sure there's been the proper cooling down. And you would think if someone goes back with a police escort that nothing will happen, but you know, we've been in the business long enough to know. Is there any way, I don't know if she needs a week or a couple of days or a day to
Your
move
Honor,
her items?
Yeah, her parents are involved. His parents is involved. These are good people. Ms. McGriff will have meet no resistance in getting her belongings. We'll make sure that Mr. Nwosa is not present. She can get her things. And, and if she's willing to, that's what she needs, we'll make sure that happens. We'll fine with that. We're not going to stand in the way of the victim getting her things.
Okay, so that will be fine. And since he's going through pre-trial, I will order 1 week of anger awareness courses. They're free through pre-trial. And they will give him the information on how to take those classes through them. No drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I believe that's it. Anything else that I've left out, State?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right. That'll be it. Any questions, Mr. Tolles?
No, Your Honor. We appreciate you. Good to see you again, Judge.
All right. You too. Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank
Yes, you may. Thanks.
Judge, we got an add on. Did you get it?
No. Can you send it to me real quick?
I don't even have these histories. I don't know who these people are.
You don't?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Thank you. It's people. It's
It's
more than
2.
one.
Yeah.
It's like 1, 2. Okay. Who do we have next?
Good afternoon, Judge. This is going to be number 12 here at ACDC. Ms.
Okay.
Melton.
What was that name?
Holly Melton, number 12.
Oh, that's the conflict defender.
Who's on for today?
It's Miss McLeod's case.
There she goes. Good afternoon, Miss McLeod. Oh, you're muted.
Sona.
This is 24 CR 006110Y, Holly Melton. She has 6 charges. The first one, willful obstruction, failure to obey traffic control devices, operating without lights, reckless driving, failure to report striking a fixed object, and fleeing or attempting to elude officers.
7 total. Last arrest was on the 22nd. Out of Wilkinson County, possession of marijuana, suspended license. I got an open ag assault in this county, 23 CP 217312. What else? On probation out of Paulding County for theft by taking. 2022 fleeing and 2022 DUI theft by taking.
That's my case, Your Honor. Ms. Melton was picked up on warrants that were taken out following a crash that she had in a vehicle in May. So the incident here in front of you is from May the 15th of 2024. Police were responding to the area of James P. Brawley at the intersection of the James P. Brawley area and Proctor Street. This was at about 2 in the morning. The response by police was because there had been shots fired in the location area, and then they were told that there was a white Lexus with no lights on blocking the intersection there. Police has approached the vehicle and it fled at a high rate of speed. Police followed the vehicle and watched it blow through multiple stop signs and then strike a fence, a fixed object, where it then came to rest in a field. At that point, the driver, Ms. Melton, exited the vehicle and fled on foot. She left her passenger in the passenger seat, Mrs. Robinson. She told police she just woke up when the defendant yelled, "Police," as she sped off, and she wasn't sure why the defendant had fled. The vehicle was inventoried and impounded because she'd abandoned it. There were 3 phones in the vehicle with her face on the screen, a small amount of marijuana, as well as her banking cards and identification. At that point, warrants were obtained. She was also arrested yesterday for reckless stunt driving and obstruction, I believe. At least that's what her GCIC says. I do show that she's got felony fleeing out of Bartow County in September 2022 that she's convicted of. Open aggravated assault, like Mr. Howard just told you, that's in felony court now. And she was just arrested a few days ago for driving without a license. The original charges she came in with did not include the misdemeanor fleeing, and that's what was added. She does have a $10,000 bond that's broken up. We would ask for no driving and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, Your Honor. This is reckless behavior that I think actually is a felony. I requested it be transferred but got no response. This should be felony fleeing. Yeah, it should also be possession with intent, frankly, but here we are. Thank you.
My client is 22 years old. She's a student in her final year at Kennesaw State University, and she's also the mother of a 3-year-old daughter. My client denies the allegations, Your Honor. She tells me that her car was stolen shortly before this alleged incident, and she reported the car as stolen. She says she was not there on this occasion, so it was definitely a case of mistaken identity. I would like to point out to the court that the police officers did not identify my client. They said the driver fled. There is nothing in the warrant that said they were able to identify my client other than someone who allegedly was a passenger saying that the driver of the vehicle was my client. So that is definitely subject to proof. And she denies that it was her, Your Honor. She said the car was stolen. I would ask the court to consider giving my client a signature bond so she can get out of jail. She has her daughter to take care of, and she tells me that she does have to get back to classes. She's hoping to graduate sometime next year, Your Honor, and it's a huge concern of hers. Also, she told me that recently she called the police because she had been attacked by someone, and that was when she found out about this warrant. Nothing further, Your Honor. And this warrant was from May, Your Honor. Those are the allegations.
Right. And she's back in school now?
This is what she tells me, Your Honor. that she's a student at Kennesaw State.
But is she from Georgia as well?
Yes, Your Honor, she is.
And ASG Allen, do we know the breakdown on the 10,000 you said?
Yes, Your Honor. It looks like it's 2,500 on the obstruction. The traffic control device is 1,000. Operating without license is 1,000. Reckless driving is 5,000. Fail to report striking a fixed object is 1,000.
And Your Honor, I would like to point out that the person who allegedly was a passenger, the police just allowed them to walk away after they made this kind of allegation. Your Honor, they were not arrested, they were not cited according to the warrant.
Ms. McLeod, what would they be arrested for? You don't think your client should be arrested? I'd love to hear.
No, the thing is, nobody identified, the police did not see my client. They were told by someone who was trying to save
Not what I
their own
read.
skin that it was my client. That doesn't mean it was her.
My information is that her items are in the car and police watched her flee.
They did not identify her according to the warrant.
Not
The
what I read.
identification, it seems, based on what the warrant says, was from someone else who allegedly was a passenger and who had also run away, but came back and told the officers that. That's how I'm not understanding of what the warrant said.
Okay.
And I obviously am not great at math. I still don't have the breakdown on the 10, but I don't know if I'm going to continue with the existing bond of 10,000. So on the obstruction, 2,500, failure to obey traffic control is 2,500.
That is what the state said, Your Honor.
No, the traffic control device operating without lights and failure to report a fixed object are all $1,000 each.
Oh, okay. I got
It's
that.
a $5,000 amount for reckless driving and $2,500 for willful obstruction. And we added a fleeing. And so that's the outstanding charge that doesn't have an amount.
Gotcha. The fleeing, even if I gave that one 1,000 with these driving and traffic offenses, I'm going to lower the bond to
Ms. McLeod, do you know where her car was reported stolen?
In Fulton County. I don't know. I honestly don't know. She just told me that it was reported stolen.
Did she give you a police
There's no report of her car being stolen, not in APD jurisdiction.
Or was it Fulton County or APD?
This incident happened in Fulton County. It was impounded. I see no notes related to it being stolen or having been reported stolen, and I see no reports about it being stolen.
Oh, so this is the same car that was impounded from the scene.
Right. She's saying somebody stole her car. And so even though
Before
police say
that
they saw her,
incident.
I'm going to finish, Ms. McLeod. Thank you. Even though Ms. McLeod is saying no one identified this young lady, she's saying she wasn't there. The person in the car who identified her just is putting her name out there. And that police never saw her flee this car, and that the car's registered to her, but it's because it's stolen and she'd reported it stolen. And so what I'm saying is the police saw this young woman leave and flee, and the car is registered to her, and it's not reported as stolen. And there's nothing related to that car and the impounding of that car being a stolen vehicle and being associated with this young woman ever since May. She hasn't reported it stolen, or they haven't connected it, and she hasn't gone to pick it up.
All right. I know that your client, the defendant, Ms. McLeod, has her hand raised, but I don't want to belabor the issue too much longer for bond sake. If she's a student, I'm assuming a full-time student at Kennesaw State, the car is registered to her. I would lower the bond to 6,000 and give it 1,000 on each of the charges. And
Thank you,
that'll
Honor.
be 6,000 surety bond, 1,000 on each. Guess there's no place to stay away from, and maybe she should pick different friends, but
We'd ask for no driving, Your Honor, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And enroll in school full-time. We'd love to see verification of that.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask, obviously, that she enroll in school or stay enrolled in school or something. I don't know that I need to order that. But no drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm a little conflicted as to whether or not I should order her not to drive. I don't know that I see that at the
Pretrial
court.
just announced that she was arrested 2 days ago for driving without a license. Mr. Howard, can you
cite her for this on this occasion?
No, her last arrest was a few days before now. We can have Mr.
22nd.
Howard.
And
What's the charge?
And what happened with that case?
I don't know. It was in Wilkinson County.
Oh, it's
So
right.
she may have bonded out.
Right. So she doesn't have a valid license, no driving without a valid driver's license, that's for sure. If her driver's license is valid, then I guess she can drive, but
They're valid. Ms. Mahoney, you have the right to remain silent, and I suggest that you don't speak.
Okay.
all right. So 6,000 surety, 1,000 on each, no driving unless she has a valid license to drive. And all the other conditions will stand. That's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, next we're gonna go to the add-on calendar. Position number 2, Nigel Morgan, his bond was paid, he bonded out. And in front of you is position number 1 on the add-on, Mr. Norman Edwards. And do we have a Spanish interpreter? Because we do have Mr. Gonzalez Ramirez.
We're still working on it.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. I hadn't even had a chance to look at the add-on calendar.
Yeah, and I don't have the history, so.
Ms. Bridgewater, sound for me you said position 2 bonded out and this is position 1.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Sound for that for me, Ms. Bridgewater. Next, I'll get the state to read it, a pretrial. Are you there?
It's Norman Edwards, case
Thank you.
number 24 CR 006113J.
Okay.
Hit and run, failure to yield right away, turning.
All right. Thank you.
That's my case, Your Honor. This gentleman does not have much criminal history. We're asking for a $2,000 SOB through pretrial and no driving. He was picked up on warrants after he hit and run and fled the scene of a crash on July the 3rd. This was at 4500 Rodswell Road at about 3:30 p.m. He failed to yield and turned left in front of a vehicle going the opposite way. Both individuals pulled into a parking lot where the defendant was seen getting out of his car, angry, yelling at the victim in her Toyota Camry about the damage that was on his vehicle. And then he fled without providing any information. The victim had dash cam in her car, and it captured the collision as well as the defendant on scene. He was easily identifiable based on a comparison of that information. That's it.
All right. PDs?
We agree with that signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to order $2,000 signature bond. I'm just gonna order it through the jail. I think he has enough
I'm sorry,
contacts.
what position is this?
One on the add-on calendar,
Okay, gotcha.
2 bonded out. You didn't hear that?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No driving unless he has a valid license. No drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
And that's 1,000 on each charge.
Yes,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you.
Give me 1 minute, Your Honor. You ready? You got it? Yeah. Oh, I'm saying, you guys, you gotta look that up. Yeah, I'll put it in. All right, cool. Perfect. No. Yeah. Okay, you wanna put that. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 4, Mr. Xavier Clark.
This is 24 CR 006099G. Xavier Clark, charging 1 count of simple battery. Retrial.
25, 2021 probation. 2009 simple battery DV, 2 counts. 1 count hindering 911 call conviction. 08 battery DV conviction. 2009 battery DV cruelty in the 3rd conviction, and a 07 robbery conviction. That's it.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred August 1st, 2024. The victim in this case is DeWandria Pearson, who has been casually dating the defendant for approximately 1 month at the time of this incident. The defendant asked her to have sex since it was his birthday, and when she refused, he began elbowing her in the back as she was laying down and told her to get the fuck out of my bed. She began to leave, but the defendant asked her to go to the store with him, and she agreed because she was scared of what he might do and had no way home. When officers were speaking with the victim at the Inman Park MARTA station, she became very nervous because the defendant was below them staring at her. The defendant's apartment is directly across from that Inman Park MARTA station. Officers did go to the defendant's apartment, but he refused to answer. The defendant also has a 2019 arrest for simple battery and a 2016 arrest for aggravated stalking, as well as a simple battery 2016 arrest. The state's recommendation is going to be based on his criminal history, which includes numerous felony convictions and numerous violent arrests and convictions, that there is a risk that he will reoffend based on his 25 arrest cycles. There is a potential that he will also intimidate this witness. He currently has a $2,000 surety bond. Given his criminal history, the state believes it would be appropriate to raise that to $3,500, but of course we'll leave that in the court's discretion. No further contact with this victim, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol, anger awareness. And I would ask that the court sound for Miss DeWandria Pearson.
DeWandria Pearson. No. PD Rosenover.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Clark is 39 years old. He does reside with his sister at the address on file. Judge, he earned his GED in 2002 and completed some college at Georgia Military College. He did advise me that he's a current participant in the felony drug court program. He advised that he's been in the program since October of 2023, and he's in the phase of the program where he's required to not have employment. But he's been in about 9 to 10 months and will enter the phase where he does get a job pretty soon. He's also advised me that he has MH issues, and Judge, I know that he won't be able to afford much of any bond. At the very least, we're requesting that the court not raise the bond. Thank you.
I will leave the bond at a $2,000 surety bond. And no further contact with the victim, DeWandria Pearson. Stay away from her residence and her job. Have no further contact with her. No drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
And just to bring to the court's attention, both him and the victim are also in accountability court. I just wanted the court to be aware of that.
Well, no further contact outside of the court setting, which would maybe not put them in immediate contact. But that may be the only place that he's not 200 yards away from her is in any legal or courtroom setting. Okay. Other than that, he needs to be 200 yards away.
Thank you, Judge.
Let me ask, does this address that he's to stay away from that's listed in the warrant, is that his address?
It is not. He is currently residing at the address on file. That's the 1079 Seaboard Avenue.
So this 1055 DeKalb Avenue, is that
I
the
believe-
address stay on the warrant?
I believe that's the Inman MARTA station.
Okay, so we don't need to stay away from there.
I don't believe.
Well, it was across the street from the Inman Park MARTA station, or did it start there and then?
So it looks like the incident occurred across the street at the defendant's apartment where he lives. The victim went to the Inman MARTA station, and that is where she made contact with the police and where they were interviewing her.
Okay, so I don't need to put that on the order.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
No, excuse me, I got a question.
Better be careful. Is it
Hold on,
about the bond conditions?
About the bond conditions. We're both in the same program, but I'm in the mornings class and she's in the evening class. So I'm asking, can I just get no further violent contact because so I am able to complete the program? We don't cross each other during the program. She's in the night class. I'm in the night class and she's in the another class in the morning class.
Well, if there are two different times, then they would have no contact anyway because they're in two different classes.
But I wanted to be clear for drug court, so they'll continue to accept me in the program upon these bond conditions.
I think what Mr. Clark is just asking is that when we write the condition, as long as it says other than in the Fulton County drug court setting, he must remain 200 yards plus away from her. Is that okay?
Yes.
I just wanted to be clear because I didn't understand this, what you were saying.
Right. That's fair. Thank you.
So, Your Honor, I put stay away except for legal reasons.
And for drug court reason, I want to be clear.
Well, just say legal proceedings in court. Let's be a little more specific because legal reasons, that's too broad. That could mean a lot of things. Just legal proceedings in court.
Okay.
And are you speaking of the accountability court?
Yeah, I don't want to limit it to one court. You all may end up, I don't know, in a different court. Hopefully not, but I'm not going to limit it to that court because you may have other courtroom appearances. So if you're in the courtroom and she has to be in the courtroom.
So drug court is I go there on the scheduled time and we do class and we do sessions. And that's why I'm asking you to iterate it like that. So they'll see that their name.
Hold on a second. You need to do all you can do to stay away from her. So you're going to get a copy of this order, take it with you, show it to them so that they are knowledgeable of the bond in place. She should probably do the same thing and probably will. But you all can be less than 200 yards, but not sitting next to each other in the chair in drug court, DUI court. I don't care what court is, accountability court. I'm saying any court proceedings may obviously, you can't be 200 yards, but you can't be sitting next to her either.
I'm asking them to find.
I don't want you to intimidate her. I don't want you to talk to her. I don't want you to send her an email. I don't want you to have any contact. It's just that you just might be sitting 10 feet from her in a chair. And so you need to make sure your chair is not next to her chair, but you could be across the room.
I'm in compliance with that, but on the order, can you just iterate the name of accountability court that I'm able to continue to proceed there, but still just have nobody in contact with that person?
No, I'm not changing that because you're saying that you want to have some contact with her in accountability court, and I'm saying you do not. So I've not put on there that you can't. I'm still putting, don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Please don't cut me off. And I'm going to move on, and you need to talk about this with your attorney. Otherwise, you're going to be back down here in jail. There's no reason if both of you are in accountability court that you need to be sitting in a chair next to her now that this event has happened or this incident has happened. I'm very, very concerned. And I said the first thing the order is going to say is no further contact with her, period. 200 yards, stay away. But if you're both in a court proceeding, and that's a courthouse proceeding, you can be less than 200 yards, but you still shouldn't be sitting next to her. Okay? And then talk to your attorney about how you avoid that, because the onus is going to be on you. The responsibility is on you. And I don't even think you have to talk to her in accountability court or any of the courts.
I don't.
Talk to your lawyer. All right, we're done. Move on. Been 3 hours talking about don't contact.
Next, we're gonna go to position number 5, Your Honor, Mr. John Collier.
All right, thank you. 24 CR 006100E. John Collier, 1 count of criminal trespass.
6 total, 2014 probation. I meant 2014 possession of marijuana, 2013 probation, 2013 simple battery DV conviction, and before that was an armed robbery from the 90s conviction. A resident of Columbus, Georgia.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred August 28th, 2024 at Grady Hospital. The defendant is accused of refusing to leave the hospital after being told numerous times to leave. The defendant was escorted off the property about 3 times, but he did return. When officers asked him again to leave, he said, "Fuck that, take me to jail." He currently has a $3,000 surety bond. The state is okay with that being converted into a signature bond. Stay away from Grady except for medical necessity, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. A social worker visit might be appropriate for this defendant, but I will let his PD elaborate more on that if it is necessary.
All right.
Yes, Judge. I did have a chance to speak with Mr. Collier. He's 44 years old. He lives here in Atlanta. He was recently at the Salvation Army, but he is no longer in that program. And Judge, I don't think I've ever asked for this before, but only because Mr. Collier has, I'm asking the court to not change the bond at this moment, so that we can get a social worker out to see him. He has expressed to me that he is very concerned about his own MH condition. And I'd certainly request some sort of wraparound services when he is ready to go somewhere other than the jail. But at this moment, Judge, I'm not asking the court to reduce the bond.
All right. All right, we'll leave the bond at 3,000 surety. Send him a BHET to address any concerns that he may have. Stay away from Grady Hospital except for when he's having treatment. And the only way I'm going to allow you to go back, Mr. Collier, is that you don't trespass there or have any negative interactions with any of the employees or people there at Grady. I would ban you from Grady, but I know you probably need to go there for treatment. But you can go there for treatment as long as nothing else happens going forward. So I expect you to be on your best behavior when you're at Grady. Okay? Thank you. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 7, Mr. Gaston.
This is 24 CR 006109G. And this is Jacob Gaston, charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, giving false information and battery. Pre-trial.
I don't have nothing for him. Was he on the pool sheet?
He was on the felony pool sheet, but since he was just charged with misdemeanors, I was told that he was going to be on this calendar.
Oh, that's why.
He was an add-on for us.
You got the history, Anna? Otherwise, I have to pull it.
I have he's got a NOLO plea in 2023 to Cobb County, possession of a pistol under 18 that they have a hold on him for. He's got an open aggravated assault, 2 counts, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony in Superior Court. That's 23 SC 191067. And 2 failure to appears, and that is for the Fulton case and the Cobb case. This is an incident that occurred on the 26th of August at about 8:45 p.m. Police were called to 3056 Cloverhurst Drive in East Point. That's an Airbnb location where the defendant was located with a few other people, including a young woman he's been dating. She reported when police got to the location being physically assaulted. She was seen to have a bleeding, bruising, swollen lip. Initially, the young woman, her name is Shavikia Redden, reported that the person who assaulted her, Mr. Smith, had fled the location. Police then found Mr. Smith, who was actually identified as Mr. Gaston, under her bed, and another gentleman in the closet. Once she was separated away from the defendant, she admitted that the injury to her face was caused when she was attacked by the defendant and struck in the face because he thought she was texting someone else and he was trying to take her phone. Police arrested the defendant. He was then identified as Mr. Jacob Gaston and identified as having these active warrants that you just heard about. So he's charged with possession of marijuana, giving false information to law enforcement officer, and battery on this young woman. The name he provided was Deshaun Smith with a date of birth of 2601. His name is Jacob Gaston, and his birth date is 5/26/05. We'd ask for a $2,000 surety bond, Your Honor. Absolutely no contact with Ms. Redden whatsoever. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And to stay away from the location, the Airbnb at 3056 Cloverhurst Drive in East Point. Thank you.
All right.
Judge, Mr. Gatson is 19 years old. He resides at the address on file. That's a Jonesboro address with his grandmother, his child's mother, and his 1-year-old child. He's currently taking care of his grandmother, and he is enrolled in Atlanta Technical College. He's been taking classes for the past month. He graduated high school just this year. Your Honor, he's lived here in Georgia his entire life. And I do want to point out that I believe bonds are already set on 2 of the 3 counts. For count 1, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, he doesn't have a bond. We'd ask for a UGR jail on that count. For count 2, he has a $1,000 bond. And for count 3, he currently has a $3,000 bond. So if the state is requesting no more than $2,000, we'd just ask for count 3 to be reduced to a $1,000 bond. I've advised Mr. Gatson he is not to have any contact with this individual. He understands that. He does still have a holdout of Cobb, so he won't get out right away.
The state's not asking for any additional money. We just want it to be a surety bond and for there to be no contact and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons to stay away from that location.
Understood.
Okay. All right. So it will end up being the same, the $2,000 surety. Don't know what the breakdown is at 500.
He's got a $3,000 bond on the battery and a $1,000 bond on false information.
Oh, okay. So 3,500 surety. I'll just do 500 on the marijuana.
I know.
So that'll be 3,500 surety. Stay away from the Airbnb home. Incident location. And there's no further contact with the victim. I wrote down something red and I didn't get the name.
Her first name is Shakevia. That's Chakevia. Last name Redden, Redden. And I believe if you're doing a $500 amount on the marijuana, that makes us a $4,000 total surety bond. Mrs. Rosenhuber,
Let me do
me.
the 500 on the marijuana, make the SOB jail, make it split.
Thank you.
So Your Honor, go over the entire bond amount so I can get it right on my records.
All right, so on the first count, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 500 signature jail. It's a split bond.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other
Given
3,005,
false information, you're doing what?
that's 1,000, correct? And then the
That's
battery,
$1,000 surety.
yes,
Okay, and on the battery,
supposed to be, is it 3,500 on the battery existing?
yeah, I
No,
don't
you're
know.
to get
Arthur?
to
I hear you.
Huh?
to get to the total amount of 3,500, I believe the battery should be just a 2,000
That's
surety.
what I was thinking, but I needed to hear that specifically.
Well, I didn't know, and I wasn't necessarily trying to change what's already pre-existing.
Okay.
That
Right.
was
I
my
think
other
I think the
confusion.
issue is that this gentleman already has a bond for $3,000 on the battery. So is what defense counsel asking for is a reduction on that bond? Because that's what needs to be made clear.
Yes,
Right.
I requested a reduction, but I thought,
You never said that word.
okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't. We
Not clear
didn't,
at
and I
all.
didn't think
We're
I
not
was
asking for any
reducing.
additional money, but we're certainly not in agreement with a reduction. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did
so
not.
on the battery, give me the dollar amount.
3,000,
3,000. So that's gonna make this a $4,500 split bond.
correct.
Okay,
4,500 split, right.
okay,
And I might have confused myself too, so sorry about that, everyone.
it's okay.
Oh, I gotta rewrite everything. Next, Your Honor, is gonna be position number, what you need to ask?
Judge, with the staying away from the B&B, my family owns that B&B.
Your company owns the B&B,
My family
Airbnb?
owns that property.
Well, I guess with proof of that, we can maybe talk about it, but at this point, that's not what it says in the police report. And I mean, why would he need to be there?
I was just letting you know.
Ms. Rosenhuber, you can let me know.
Yeah, I will. He didn't.
We'll amend the bond if that's the case, but like, ASG Allen said, we just need proof of that. And then they can submit a
It's
amended
not his
order.
address. Like, you didn't say anything about that. Did he tell you about that?
He did not. So,
Right. Oh.
but I'll let you guys know if I get additional information.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to position number 17, Mr. Jabri Smith.
That's me.
This is 24 CR 006105B is in boy. And that is Jabri Smith, charged with 1 count of battery, family violence.
This is fifth arrest, 2024 probation. Hold on, calculating this time. That doesn't make any sense. 2023 trespass obstruction conviction, 2010 armed robbery conviction.
That's my case, Your Honor. This is an incident from last October. So this is a warrant that's been outstanding until now when this defendant was arrested. Police were called to 340 Big Sky Pass Southwest in South Fulton. The victim, Danielle Robinson, reported that between 11 p.m. and 12:30 in the morning, she'd been assaulted by the defendant. A verbal confrontation escalated to a physical one. He grabbed her by her neck and took her to the ground. They struggled. She was able to call 911, but she was struck by the defendant and she had lacerations that were visible on her forehead when she spoke to police. She reported that the defendant was her husband and they lived together when this report was made. We've been in touch with Ms. Robinson. She says that they are married, but they no longer live together and they have no children. We're asking for no contact, Your Honor. $2,000 surety. Stay away from the location where Ms. Robinson lives and have no contact with her. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Okay. PDs?
Your Honor, there's no gainsaying that it was a serious charge that he got a serious sentence on the 2010 case with a 4-year statute of limitations. I don't know if that occurred in 2010 or in 2006 or somewhere in that era, or what year it happened to be in. But he did go do some confinement. Then he's on probation. I see that the August 19th arrest this month, I think, is basically being picked up on everything together. So, Your Honor, given that this was 11 plus months ago, we would ask the court to consider a signature bond. He is eminently findable. He's not going to be loose. I did leave a message with his mother. He is a technician in HVAC work, so he has a good career. The next job he finds is going to be in that. He's unemployed at the moment, but I think there are good career opportunities in that, so he should be employable soon.
This is his wife and they're separated.
Correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is Jabri's mother. Can I speak?
No, you may not. Were you on the
Okay.
scene when this incident occurred?
I was not.
Okay. Only if you're a witness or a victim. And even then, I'm very light on witnesses. This is not a trial. This is bond hearing. So you'll have other opportunities to speak. I'm going to order the $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. What level pretrial?
We on the same guy? I just got back to my desk.
Yes. Jabri Smith, number 17.
I guess 2, because they got he was on probation for that armed robbery.
Okay.
That was the PSAT. The PSA recommendation was level 2. True.
Okay. All right. And it'll be level 2. I'm going to order him to take 1 week of anger awareness courses through pretrial. I'm going to order that he have no further contact with Ms. Robinson, that he stay away from her residence and or her job, be 200 yards away from her, no contact, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
What was that amount?
2,000. That's it.
Hey, next, we're gonna go to position number 19, Mr. Watkins.
This is 24 CR 006107E, Jantrell Watkins, 1 count of SB and misdemeanor. Do we need to stop the streaming? I don't know the facts.
No, we don't.
Okay.
First arrest.
It's up to the court.
I'm sorry?
I was saying it's up to the court on whether we stop streaming. It does have salacious facts to be pledged.
Whose case is this? ASG Allen?
This is mine, Your Honor.
What are the salacious facts of what we need to?
I mean,
not
it's
to-
it's a touching of someone unwanted. Self-explanatory by the charge. There may be an ongoing investigation. I'm not sure. Looks like it's a bigger situation to me when I read the information.
Miss Grace.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you stop the streaming for a moment and just record?
Okay.